Welcome to the Ouchcast, the usual three suspects minus one. Where's our dear George? We got Angel on the board as always. We got Doyle, fresh back from his victim shaming world tour, Redemption 2024, and me, Enrique. Happy to bring you love, life, and happy Valentine's Day, you mother pluckers.
Love is a wondrous, splendid thing.
And for that one guy who called in, does my voice modulate enough? Acting!
You sound sexy.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ugh.
yeah. So Valentine's Day, guys, help me out here. Like, I'm single and I don't give a bleep about it. So why should I care?
I'm married and I don't give a bleep about it either.
My wallet's happy about it. I'm good.
My wife tells me it's bullshit, which is true. She's like, dude, she loves flowers, but she's like, on Valentine's Day, don't buy me flowers because they're so overpriced.
So she's like, Valentine's Day is bullshit. And then she goes, wink.
Yeah,
And
wink,
then,
wink,
every
buy me
single time.
something. No.
Because you know what's going to happen is that you're going to get into an argument one day. And then she's going to say, and you don't even buy me flowers for Valentine's Day.
You guys want a loophole? Do something before. No, serious.
Happy February 13th, babe.
Here's
And if it falls on a Friday, even better.
Here's a loophole for you couples out there or anyone aspiring to be in a couple. If you celebrate Valentine's Day a week and a half earlier, it's less expensive. Ding, number one. Number two, you get all the same Valentine's Day crap out of the way. You can buy flowers and pink stuff. Then you don't compete with other couples, because whenever you compete with other couples on Valentine's Day, when you go out and then some guy brings his girlfriend 10,000 flowers in the restaurant and you just brought your girl one flower, guess what? Guess who's sleeping on the couch that night? All I'm saying is it works out.
That guy who bought all those flowers because now he's fucking broke and he can't afford a bed. Go on.
That's a good point. Simping ain't easy. You know what I'm saying?
Simping ain't easy.
Simping? Get the fuck out of here. No, but you know what? All kidding aside, your plan is pretty good, except for the fact that everyone else thought of the same fucking thing. so you're gonna go out like, February 10th or something, or the week before, and it's like everything's gonna be sold out.
I said a week and a half.
A week and a half. Oh well.
Yeah.
And now everyone who's fucking listening, all 12 listeners, are gonna be like, okay,
Exactly.
week and a half.
I just saved 12 people's relationships. You know what I mean?
Valentine's
The
Day.
Valentine's Day Rizz.
Let me
Are you gonna buy new lotion for your hand?
No, because I do not buy anything for my girlfriends. Okay, shut up. Anyway, so like I was gonna say, let me put this out to the table because I need to know. I need to know. So one time Valentine's Day, went out to Santa Barbara. Was it no Ventura County? It was Pismo Beach. Beautiful weekend. It was great. Paid for a lot of everything, and it was not a cheap trip. I mean, it was Valentine's Day weekend. But it was great. And, and everything was fine. And then, that inevitable like fallout happened. And then the first thing that's thrown back at my face is you didn't buy me anything for Valentine's Day. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, so I'm still paying down my credit card for that trip. And I didn't buy you anything. Should I? I mean, like, I was pissed. Am I wrong to be mad about that?
You know what you should have said? I didn't buy you nothing for President's Day either. Get over it.
Happy Arbor Day.
She would be mad at both, but at least it would take some of the heat off of Valentine's Day. I mean,
Happy Martin Luther King Day. Here you go.
It is Black History
Did you
Month.
get anything for Valentine's Day that time?
Isn't it inappropriate to buy something for Martin Luther King Day? That's bad, man, guys. No.
A pillow?
No.
Because he had a dream?
Yeah.
But you nailed it. I'm a fist bump you, bro. That's a good one. I like it.
I like it.
I see what you did there.
See, it wasn't racist.
Can you imagine like Martin Luther, you know how they do those big sales over the weekends for like cars and stuff on like President's Day, and then on Martin Luther King's Day,
I have a dream of a brand new mattress. Everyone come on down.
It's like what's that one guy who sells the mattresses? The you're
Killing me, Larry.
Like this Martin Luther King Day, come buy a bed because you want a dream too.
That's brilliant marketing. I don't know why they haven't done
ignorant. That's ignorant.
Is it disrespectful to his legacy?
No.
Sell a mattress?
No,
I mean,
I don't think so.
Keep the dreams alive.
You're selling dreams, right?
Yeah, keep the dream alive. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if he had a dream, it must have been a very comfortable bed, or it should have been. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, there he is again. Oh, hi there. There.
Oh my.
So if I were a single man, thank God I'm not. If I were a single man, I would go up to 3 attractive people and just ask them if they have a Valentine's. Because
So you would ask George, me, and Enrique.
I said attractive people.
I
not
sorry.
unattractive people.
I heard un in the front. But
No, it's okay. This is a cheat code for all you single people out there. If you are single,
listen up, Enrique.
go up to 3 people that you find out of your league attractive, and
Stop looking at me.
and ask them, "Hey, do you have a Valentine?" It's not asking them on a date. It's not asking them for anything, like, it's not creepy. You're just asking. It's a bit of a way to get information out of them. If they say absolutely not, if they don't reply in some sort of like, I have a boyfriend, I'm not available, then you have a shot.
Do you though?
Yeah, because it's unarmed, and you could ask a friend out that way. You don't have to make it something romantic.
It's all about rizzing them up.
Yeah. It's the Valentine's Day Rizz, you know what
The
I mean?
Valentine's Day Riz.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
You could hit up a stranger like this on an elevator in 13 seconds. Believe me, I've seen it.
You gotta hit him with the Rizz
You gotta
cracker.
ask him. You say, "Hey, you got a Valentine's?" She goes, "No." You want one? As weird as that sounds, trust me, there are people. The Valentine's Day is the #1 loneliest holiday out there. People,
Isn't it New Year's?
One is the
It's probably
loneliest
it's probably one of the two. I mean, people don't talk about it on Valentine's Day, but there's some bitter women. They have events
I've
just
tasted 'em
for
too.
women.
What?
Whoa!
Whoa.
I didn't say that. That was me. George, George, why are you saying things like that? It's disgusting.
The views of George are not the views of the Ouchcast.
Because he's not even
Fucking George.
Because
is
he's
he,
like,
Qui-Gon?
there's some
He
bitter
just
women
came
out there. I'm
from-
like, I know, I tasted them.
George just force projected himself here like a ghost to say these magic words. George, you sick man, you sick freak, sick freak, get out of here. Fake news.
Dude, that shut me up.
Hey, you know what's funny though? From what George told us, he's not going to know about this joke until like 6 months later because he doesn't listen to our shows.
Even better.
Yeah, he's gonna be like in 2025. He'll be like, "Hey, by the way, screw you, Enrique."
Remember how I said everything that they say about us is true?
Yeah.
George.
Hey, Enrique, you said you had that fight. Can I ask a question? Did you get anything for that Valentine's?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I mean, again, I think the trip was like a mutual thing.
Okay, so
But,
that was
I mean,
your guys' Valentine.
I think
then.
the expectation was, and maybe honestly, in all fairness, I don't think she meant it. I mean, it was a bigger issue.
You
all
think it was
around.
just a rage shout?
She was just disappointed in general, and she had every right to be. I mean, you know, I have to say that she was disappointed for other reasons, and it manifested in that, and it's valid. So, you know, not so much talking smack about it, but more like I remember at the time feeling like really hurt by that because I thought, you know, the whole thing was that, but I can look back on it with a little bit more objectivity and realize that it was more like because of the
Right.
disappointment, which I think honestly, by the way, in Valentine's Day and in general in any relationship, when there's fallouts, the thing that they're mad about isn't what they're really mad about. It's
No.
all of the stuff around
It
it.
boils up.
Yeah, and so if we can work on that part, then maybe there's a chance. But
Have you ever been so angry that you blurt out something that makes
Yes.
no content whatsoever? No context. Like you're like,
listen to the last
banana.
podcast when I yelled at you, Angel. Sorry, love you, baby.
when you're yelling, you always yell at me. That's how we communicate.
No, yeah, of course, man. Those heated moments, you know, you say the thing that you're feeling, and it's not necessarily like what you're truly thinking. It's just a reaction to the anger you feel, and so the first thing comes to mind. Yes, say it, and there's some truth in it, maybe, but it's not really the core of the issue. And usually people will fight on just that, and that's why things don't get solved. It's the reason why you got to sit down and talk. The reason why mediation sometimes works. You know, I don't know.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
By the way, I can't hear when people say it's a circle without hearing your voice now. The other day, one of my TAs was teaching a lesson to a group of kids, and she
It's
said,
pronounced ta.
she goes, well, you know, it's a circle. In my head, I'm thinking, it's a circle.
It's a circle.
And I'm like, freaking angel. Freaking angel. You killed me.
I got a question for you guys.
What's up?
You think Vince McMahon has a Valentine?
Yeah.
You think it's
Probably Brock Lesnar. With
got you.
laryngitis, can I join you? No, get in your room.
He says, hey Brock, happy Valentine's Day. I got you this.
Oh, man. How screwed is Brock Lesnar and all this, though?
Well, he
He's
married
not-
Sable, so
Yeah,
he's
he's
very
not-
screwed.
he's-
Trust me, that gold digger's going to take him for everything he's worth.
Dude. Sable's gonna fucking clean the bank on that dude.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would not be surprised if Sable really loves Brock. I don't know why.
I see it.
She seemed like a gold digger in the most shallow type of person.
They were married back then when that happened?
They got married, I think, in like 2002, 2003.
Oh, shit.
They've been together for a long time. And here's the crazy part. So when I listen to Cornette and he talks about Sable and how she was a gold digging, skank.
Fill me in, because I honestly, I just knew her as whether she was a Mark Maron. Mark Maron.
Yeah,
That's the guy
I
from
forget.
what the WTF. No, Mark Marrow, the wrestler.
What's his
Yes.
name? What was his ego? His character? Forget. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that guy. She was with him, and then I know she was there for a while, but like I said, I stopped watching. So, and I don't know anything behind the scenes. And when I came back and watched, I'm like, dude, Brock is married to Sable. What the fuck?
Here's the crazy part. Like, okay, so Sable, like, she likes glamour. She likes everything. She likes the attention. She likes all this stuff, right? And then somehow she marries Brock, who likes to live in the country away from everybody, who doesn't talk to anybody. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like he's like masculine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is weird, because have you seen his daughter? How did that come from Sable?
Well, it usually leans towards the
Them some
father.
strong genes.
That's
You know what I
very
mean?
strong
Hey,
genes, but-
hey,
I'm
just saying. I'm not gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be mean.
She's a national treasure.
Who, Sable?
No, the daughter.
Oh,
I'm just trying to deflect.
yeah,
Just
there's no flecting.
So Enrique,
So Cold Scorpio had said like that Vince McMahon basically said that his quote was that he wanted to about Sable, I'm gonna fuck that bitch. In other words, he wanted Sable. Vince
Did he?
McMahon, yeah.
Okay, so
did he fuck her?
I'm sure.
knows?
Okay, here's what Cornette opened and shed the light on. He did say this about Sable. He said that Vince Russo and Vince McMahon and somebody else used to be in like pitch meetings talking about Sable's panties, and they were obsessed with her wearing white panties, and they would talk about it for like way too long, like 20-30 minutes. They're just discussing Sable in her chones. And so
Give me some chon chon.
and I'm like, dude, like, and he used to hate it, and he hated Sable because she had no talent and she wasn't a wrestler and she didn't earn it, and there were women on the card like Jacqueline who deserved to be women's
Jacqueline, yeah.
who deserved to
She
be
was
champion,
badass,
but they
dude.
made it Sable because she was fake with fake boobs, and her personality was fake and all this and yada yada
Everything
yada.
about her fake.
And I could see all of that, like everything that Cornette said, like it translates to the camera.
Oh yeah.
Women want to be me and men want to be with me. I was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, it never really. She never. Yeah.
So here's the story. It says the incident took place at a bar overseas with wrestlers like The Undertaker, Hawk, and Ron Simmons present. As Sable walked into the bar, McMahon, in Scorpio's account, openly expressed his intentions to have a sexual encounter with her. He said, this happened when Sable was still married to Mark Marrow. Scorpio recounted the incident with a mix of surprise and nonchalance, emphasizing it as a first-hand account. And he concluded by saying that he's sharing the truth, and if anyone doesn't like it, they can find him, as he doesn't hold back punches. He says, my eyes must have got about that damn big, like I must have been smoking crack all night. Like, did he just say that? I'm looking at Ron. Ron looked at me, and everybody just like, it ain't shit. Like, yeah, that's Vince. That's what he does. Down the line, it really happened. and shit, and I could tell you more, but that's all I know on firsthand situation, okay? I ain't gonna tell you nothing about he say, she say, but I'll tell you about what I seen and what I heard with my own damn ears and eyes, okay? That's all I know, Scorpio laughed. It is what it is. Pull no punches. You said you ain't hiring me. You owe me. So fuck it. I'm just going to tell it like it is. You don't like it. You can always find me. I ain't hard to find. You know what I'm saying? End quote. So basically he's saying like he said it and that he heard that Vince McMahon did finally do that. So yes, the rumors say he did that, but he can't corroborate that part. He can only say what he did hear firsthand, which was that he had intentions with her. Vince McMahon having intentions with
intentions, but it wasn't. Was it
It's not
fulfilled or
confirmed
not?
that it happened.
Well,
Either way,
that's what I'm saying. He's saying that he can account for the fact that he had intentions, but that he heard that it did happen. It said that's Vince McMahon. That's what he do down the line. It really happened and shit. That's what he says. So in other words, he did end up going with Sable, but he can't confirm that.
Yeah, by saying down the line it really happened.
So-
shit. I could see it that way, but down the line, I could also interpret it as like down the line, it really did happen. What I said that he wanted to do.
Sure,
it could go that way too.
What
but
I would like
that's
to,
an interesting.
what I would like to acknowledge
And
is
fuck, another episode we talk about fucking wrestling.
It's
Jesus.
gonna be
course,
every
why
episode.
not?
We love
Yeah.
it, man.
Okay,
Because
I'm just saying.
and by the way,
it's still real to me. Dang it!
Actually, you know, I remember hearing this a few years back that Valentine's Day, that
People wrestle?
wrestling. Well, you know what? That actually wrestling,
Horizontal wrestling,
the numbers go high.
Wrestling
during-
Rizz.
wrestling.
The numbers go. I'm about to yell at you again, bro. I'm about to yell at you again. Yeah, piece of poop.
Okay, the numbers one.
You know what? Fuck you guys. No, you don't deserve this shit.
And there it is.
I bring the good stuff, and you ain't gonna get it.
Squid Squad.
I am withholding, like Valentine's Day. I'm withholding.
You're just bitter because you don't have Valentine.
Vince would have been better if he withheld.
Do you think he like banged every female wrestler?
Not every.
In his.
Not every.
I think he banged the most that he wanted, and
The
the ones
top.
that really wanted to work. I'm sure he had some.
Which are the ones he pushed? Like for instance.
I was just gonna
Sable.
say it's the valets. The ones that you see him with on camera are the ones he has to have these behind closed doors meetings with, because we're gonna discuss what we're gonna do out there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So you think Trish?
It's coercion. It's possible. It's possible.
Ouch. Because she's a good wrestler, man, and I feel bad.
Dude, what about Stacy Keibler?
Stacy.
I think that's why she left.
You
I'm
think
gonna be
that's the
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think she wasn't there long enough.
Yeah, she wasn't there for a long time.
And once she like moved up the ladder and probably got targeted, she was like, I'm out. I'm not here for this. And I don't know.
I do see it.
I mean, I think that's why a lot of people left. That, like I said, you know, Sasha Banks and Naomi, they threw
That's
the
why
belts.
they left, yeah.
They threw the belts at Laurinaitis and left, probably because he propositioned them. And they, you know, all these people are being very silent. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not victim shaming, but
Go to Ouchcast.com. Oh, sorry.
I think that some of the people involved, I would like the entire story to come out, because I believe that there is some culpability on all parts. I'm not saying that Vince doesn't need to pay for what he did, but I would like to know the full context of the story before I villainize someone completely. It doesn't change the fact that one party is way more guilty and guilty of some heinous things. But was there ever any aspect of like the girl knew what it was and she like played it for power, position, and money? Because if she was like, oh, I'll sign the NDA and I'll take the $3 million, but I won't say anything, and then the only reason she's rebuttaling is because of the fact that she didn't get paid, then it doesn't taint the story, but it does help fathers teach their daughters. Just say it. I don't want to victim shame. I'm not saying that what happened to her wasn't a heinous crime, but I would like to know the full context.
Yeah, so the thing about it is, I mean, just my own 2 cents about that aspect. I mean, in our previous podcast, I wanted to kind of go into it, but you know, we won't go into it too much. I will just say that I think that when it comes to like the power structure between somebody who obviously has all the power, and Vince McMahon had all the power, right? I mean, he's larger than life character. He was the puppet master in everything that was going on behind the scenes in terms of the story and the money. So can you imagine being somebody in this company, right? A young lady who already, your place is kind of very well defined as a female in wrestling. You see the matches as they were the ones in the 90s, and we talked about it previously about the panty and bra matches and these things. So there's already kind of like this kind of like culture about it, and then you're like this female there, and then you have the big boss, making advances at you, and maybe it starts off like all innocent, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but at some point you feel like I can't leave. If I want to leave, I want to leave, but I can't, because this is where else am I going to go? So quitting, while to some people it's the easiest thing in the world, I think most often than not, people are stuck in a situation they don't know how to get out of. So I imagine that there is a lot of nuance. I'm definitely looking forward to when all the court proceedings happen, and we will hear I think a lot of that story, because obviously NDAs are no longer in play, right? So we'll hear more. But I think that oftentimes a victim is just that, it's a victim, and in this case, I think that there is something to say on this. And Vince McMahon, scary guy,
true,
he was.
And I think it just on that note of what you just said, sometimes what I would like for the record to state, and the reason why I want the full story, is sometimes people they know what it is. They go in knowing what it is, and they are playing the role of what happens. You can't tell me any of the girls who married Hugh Hefner married him because they really loved it.
To him.
Yeah, they really like, oh yeah,
there's no way.
In this, that's how I'm applying this. If Vince had that reputation in wrestling, if people had been saying that about him for years, like Molly Holly quit. You know what I mean? Like, and she was all about wrestling. And so when Vince made an advance at her, she quit. She was like, I'm done. And I'm not saying that it is an easy decision, but some people, and this is my perspective on possibly Sable, she played that position and she knew, because she wanted to get rich. And when she got her opportunities to get a check, that's what she did. So she's not really a victim. There probably are real victims in all this. The stuff that they said about, what is her name, Jeanette or Janelle?
Yeah, the
heinous, evil, disgusting. The most vile thing that a person can do to somebody is the things that Vince is being accused of.
100%.
So I don't want to absolve him from nothing, but I do want to know, we need full context, because I mean, at the same time, as heinous as it is, people need to learn the value of not chasing money, in a sense, if that's what really happened.
Right.
And I think full context to the story, yeah, we want to villainize somebody, but let's villainize them in context. This girl probably is a victim, and is there a possibility that she got herself into this and got in over her head because she played?
We'll find that with the court when it comes out.
Yeah.
At the moment, though, it doesn't look good for Vince. Let's be honest. It does not look good for Vince, and
oh no, he did it.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying. Yeah.
They say guilty until proven innocent, right?
Yeah.
But in the court of public opinion, once you're guilty, it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. That's why he quit the company. He knew.
Yeah, he's like, fuck.
That
fucking bullshit.
They got me.
Guilty until proven innocent was like a phrase that was made before, like this idea of like social mass media going out. So now it's impossible. People are going to make up their opinion right off the bat, and there's no going back.
Can you get your girl a NDA for Valentine's Day?
You should. That would be. Can you imagine? You put it like on a nice little frilly card, and it's all really pretty, and maybe have like a box of Ferrero Rocher or some like nice candy. And then when they open it up, it
Almond
says,
Roca.
On the top, it says, "I love you."
Wait.
And then you open it and it says to sign this, because I don't want to be culpable for what happens.
It's gonna say tonight we do it just like 50 Shades of Grey, and then you open the box and it's an NDA. You're like, Happy Valentine's Day.
Jesus Christ.
Could there be like a little gag on there? I mean, like maybe like a little ribbon, and then on the side it says, "Look at the site, gag." Get it? Gag order.
For anybody who thinks 50 Shades of Grey is romantic or it's a love story, that's exactly what this Vince McMahon story is.
My God. Except he was married. Okay,
but it is an NDA.
If Linda McMahon came to you and says, "I want you to teach me your ways, Mandingo," would you do it?
Now?
Yeah.
No, I'm married.
No, I mean not now. Is Mandingo?
If you would have asked me this in like 2000, and she handed me an NDA,
I said Linda McMahon.
I heard what you said.
Okay, okay. We need to set the time machine. Okay, Angel, what you got to do is you got to fire up the opera song from Fifth Element, since you still have it from our last podcast.
No,
and
no,
it's
no,
the
no.
most 90s thing in the world, and then take Doyle back to the 90s, and then ask him that question.
a fuck, Keisha.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, what you like? Yeah.
Listen, at one point in my life, I was a lost human being, and I would have slept my way to the top.
So what you're saying is your Rizz game was deep.
Did I have Granny Rizz?
Like, yeah, Granny Rizz.
No, shut up.
You were all about that cake.
Okay. Full disclosure, I did date an older woman who
So did I.
offered me a house. I was
That's
young.
disgusting.
I was
Where's she
young.
now?
Wait, what?
Where is she now? Tell me more.
Okay, I mean I
need a house.
Did we all? I mean, we've. All
Is it a
dated-
3-bedroom?
I've dated an older woman.
I was dating this older woman.
I was 16. She was
And she
25.
said, if you, it did not, I did not, okay, we went out like twice. Okay. I did not go all the way with this lady. But
what turned you off? The smell of Bengay or the Vicks vapor rub?
she was aggressive.
Oh,
She lost
They
me.
usually are.
Because what she
they
said
usually
is,
are.
if we're
Which is a turn on.
she said, if we're together, I'll put your name on this house. And
They
this was like
usually do.
this was like we had gone out twice, but we were having lots of conversation.
That's how it
And
happens.
when she said that, it was kind of like, there's got to be a catch. Like, love doesn't cost anything.
Always
So like,
is.
I felt like, I don't know, I felt dirty. I felt like a whore. I felt
Usually
so
is
dirty. I was like, nah, I can't do this. And
As my pants went boing, boing, boing.
Okay, so let me go back to my porn list from the last podcast, and let's see where that falls on. No, I'm just
please
kidding.
don't.
I think you're like number 4. I think that's number 4 category somewhere in Alabama. But okay, look,
You'll be big in Alabama.
in Florida actually. So yeah, no, I mean, I think I was working at Blockbuster. I have some great stories from Blockbuster. And I met an older woman there. She was I think she was like 40, but she was really attractive.
And you were how old?
I think I was like 20. I was 20.
Okay, your story beats mine.
You know, and we were hooking up. She was married, so yeah, I'm sorry. Apologies to the I
Home wrecker.
You
I-
cuckold.
okay, so oh gosh,
You
I don't know.
fucking cuck.
I don't know if I should. You know what? Frig it. Who cares?
Just go.
This is for all 5 of you out there in our audience.
Cuckle doodle doo.
So I'm not going to say the name of the woman, but I will say that she was married to an actor, an actor who came out in several Kevin Costner films.
Was it
I mean, they were
Jada
friends.
Pinkett Smith?
No. God, no.
You're in
God,
danger of getting
God, no.
slapped.
Looking like Pitbull these days.
And
Fun.
you know, she was married, and she was working at Blockbuster because she was bored. She was a bored housewife living in Bellflower. And,
Are you sure it wasn't Jada Pinkett Smith?
I don't know. Was she a bored housewife back in '98?
She was on a different world, so yes.
Anyway, short story. We just met. It was fun. We had good times, and she wanted it to be more. And I
No.
I was 20.
Details,
and
motherfucker.
I was just I was 20, and I just wanted
You
to.
gave her that 20-year-old Rizz, huh?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, it was pretty good, man. It was fun.
Okay.
It's good times.
Wait.
Good times.
You were 20. She was 40.
She was like in her 40s, like early 40s.
Early 40s.
Yeah.
So you're now in your 40s.
Oh yeah.
So she's in her. Oh shit.
She's what? 70?
Gilf.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't look her up, but anyways, it was interesting. But yeah, the dynamic. There's a dynamic there with an older woman that's very different in the sense that it.
Yeah. Especially when you're a
very
young
aggressive.
man. Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
common, right? For a young man to get seduced, I guess is the word,
yeah.
by an older woman, right?
It's because
Okay,
as a
then
young man,
I don't feel dirty.
you don't really have
April-May relationships is what they're called, I think.
Is that what they're called?
I think so.
That's interesting.
April-May?
April-May.
Interesting.
Because it only lasts 2 months.
It's like she's an older
Why is
woman.
it called
and she-
April May? I want to know.
It's an older woman who knows what she wants. You're a young man who probably hasn't developed
Young,
full level
dumb,
of-
full of cum is the term.
Yeah, and you haven't developed all of your confidence. So when an aggressive older woman who you find attractive and you probably really haven't gotten there, and then you're all hyped up on hormones and young age, and
Yeah.
I'm ready, and then you get this opportunity to be with a woman, who may potentially teach you some things, you jump on it. Literally.
Yeah, I also got seduced by an older woman when I was 16, and she was married. She was a co-worker, and yeah, same shit happened. And looking back, I was like, damn, like, what the fuck? But now, no.
Women aren't victims. You see that? You see all these older
I'm not
women
saying-
trying
no,
to take
no, no,
advantage
no, no.
of young boys?
Like me and my wife were just talking last night how they were victim shaming men in some group that she's in or something, saying that all men cannot get raped. I'm sorry, we do get molested in certain ways like that by other women and stuff. I believe it. And looking back, I mean, as a kid, I didn't see it that that relationship, but thinking now, I'm like, that kind of was a form of molestation or grooming.
For anyone
I
out
think it
there
was
who
grooming.
thinks that men can't get raped, erections can be involuntary. So there you go. They think that just because a man gets an erection, it means
He's into it, but no.
It can be involuntary. It's just like there are women who get raped and then there's symptoms of arousal from the rape. It's just a natural occurrence of the body.
Yeah.
So that's ignorant.
Yeah, dude.
For them to say
that. I get morning wood all the time. Doesn't mean that I'm fucking in my sleep thinking of pervy thoughts. It's just I gotta piss.
Okay, so let me recant something. The term is in April May. Forgive me. It's actually it's called a May December relationship.
May December, and those are for women who are older, guys who are younger. The phrase has been used like over years, but the most recent use of it is a Netflix film with Natalie Portman, where it's kind of loosely based on that story of the teacher who went to jail and then came out and then. Ended up being with the guy. And they had a kid, and he just passed away not so long ago.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Is that what happened? I
Yeah,
didn't
she
know that.
passed away from cancer.
Oh, yikes. Okay, interesting. I didn't know. But so the term is May December, and I know that there was a movie in the 70s, Harold and Maude.
Harold and Maude.
I think that's probably where the phrase maybe might have originated from. I don't know. But yeah,
Good movie, by the way, Harold and Maude.
May December. Yeah, because they played it all innocent. But guys,
her name was May and they met in December.
Yeah.
Hey, May.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh, okay, really quick. Because like when I was telling my story, I talked about like how this woman was aggressive, and the thing about aggressive women is like sometimes they go too far. You know what I mean? And it's scary.
You think
like,
so?
do you think?
That's never happened.
Like, okay, here's what I mean. These femme fatales, these stories of like death and murder, yeah, like where you get someone who's just so in love with someone else that they kill for it. Do you guys like are you familiar with like any of these kinds of stories, a lot of true crimes and things like that?
I like the documentary Dear Zachary, where that lady was obsessed with that one guy, and then they had a kid together, but she killed before she even announced her pregnancy. She killed him out of jealousy.
Educate me.
Okay, there's a documentary. I forget where it happened. This was early 2000s, I believe, and the gentleman started dating an older woman, and she was obsessed with him, and they had a relationship, but there were signs that she was not all there. So he broke off with her, right? And then he got murdered. And she played the whole, survivor's remorse. Oh my God, my boyfriend died, this and that. And she's crying, going to his parents, or, who would be her in-laws. And confessing her love for him and how she's going to miss it. She can't live without him. And then she's like, oh, by the way, I just found out that I'm pregnant too. So this is terrible timing and all this. There was always little red flags. There was like weirdness behind her. You got to watch the documentary. She has this kid, right? And names him Zachary. And she's always talking about how like his father and this and that, and these little baby infant stuff. There's all these signs, and the grandparents see it and they try to like intervene and stuff. And I'm not going to ruin the movie for you. Watch it. It's a very sad documentary, but it was it turns out she did kill the man in one of those romantic rages and shit.
So Valentine's Day is a very like intense time, and so yeah, I think there's a lot of stories that come out of Valentine's Day: murders, crimes of passion, that sort of one.
Crimes of
like
passion, yeah.
one that I can recount for you, if I can read this to you guys. It's like on Valentine's Day of 2001, a highly respected OBGYN, John Hamilton, discovered his wife dead on their home's bathroom floor. She was strangled and beaten. At first, authorities thought the murder was tied to the anti-abortion hate group, the Army of God. However, as time passed, suspicion of John Hamilton only grew, mostly when prosecutors learned that Hamilton's wife, Susan, had threatened divorce. So the crime scene investigators and blood spatter experts Tom Bevel later debunked Hamilton's story of discovering Susan's dead body. Bevel claimed the blood spatter on Hamilton's shirt was consistent with Hamilton committing the crime himself. Prosecutors also brought to light a possible affair between Hamilton and a topless dancer, of course, because there's always like
Always
some
a
affair.
topless
And they're always topless.
All the time.
During the trial, Hamilton testified on his defense, claiming that he was covered in blood due to CPR he performed on his wife. When the trial was over, it took the jury only 2 hours to reach a verdict. John Hamilton was convicted of the murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole.
I would never see that musical again in the same way.
Yeah, John Hamilton, you know.
Yeah, fucking. I missed that whole
wanna
story
be
in there.
Yeah. Want to be in that room. Sorry.
I want to be in the room where it happened.
Did you guys
stab?
have you guys know who Steve McNair is?
In the room where it happens is where
That's
she gets choked.
He was a football player. He was a quarterback.
Yes.
He was killed in his apartment by his 20-year-old girlfriend. It was a crime of passion, and basically she broke in and she shot him in the head. And I mean, you know, you think
Passion.
he had other extramarital relationships, and she was pretty upset about it. She killed him, and then she killed herself. And people always said, like, you know, it's a tragedy what happened to him, because he should have had a gun to defend himself against this crazy ex-girlfriend, yada yada yada. But like, it's like it just goes too far. Like, if I can't have you, no one else will. And you're just like, hey, let's go in a room and talk about this.
Stab.
Stabby.
Meat knifey.
Meat knifey. Meat knifey. Say hello.
Hello.
Sorry. All right, man. I got a really interesting one. Actually, this one's actually okay. I'm reading these like blind, but you know, I've already kind of skimmed it. I think this one's a pretty good one, guys. Good in how bad it is. So in 2019, a love triangle involving Amanda Michelle Naylor McClure, her then boyfriend John Thomas McGreary, and her, drum roll please, her father.
Weird.
Love triangle.
No.
Led to a murderous Valentine's Day. Amanda was
Where does that land on the list?
Alabama.
That's
nasty.
So Amanda was adopted as a child and had recently reunited with her birth father, Larry McClure, and her sister, Anna Shadari. In February, Larry McClure and his daughter, Anna, picked up Amanda and John McGeer from their Indiana residence. The group traveled back to Larry's home in West Virginia. Now, while the visit initially went well, after a week, the father and 2 daughters began to plot McGeary's murder. On February 14, John McGeary was struck with a bottle of wine injected with methamphetamine and strangled.
Fuck, straight out of Rasputin.
Yeah, for real. The trio tortured McGeary for 2 days before burying him in the backyard. 6 days later, they dug up his body because they weren't done, and they dismembered his remains and reburied him. The body was not discovered until September 24th, 2019. In a strange twist of events, approximately 3 weeks after the murder, Amanda and her father were married. The reason why she now has the name McClure. So in late 2019, they were charged with McGeary's murder. Amanda was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Larry McClure was sentenced to life without mercy. What does that mean, life without mercy?
Oh, no.
Sorry, that's probably a typo. Life without parole? I don't know. And Anna
Life without mercy.
No,
They're like, we're disgusted by you. We're giving you no mercy.
No mercy.
No mercy.
They glued the soap to the ground.
Cobra Kai, no mercy.
He was a wrestling fan and he can't watch No Mercy. Wasn't that a pay-per-view at one point? That was a thing before.
No mercy.
Okay, anyways, and Anders Shadari also received 40 years in prison. Yeah, man, this dad like was hooking up with his daughter and they got married, and then they decided to kill her then boyfriend.
That's disgusting. So it's Alabama?
It's probably in Alabama.
No, by no mercy, I might be the UK, dude. By saying with no mercy, that might be UK.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I'm not British.
Let's find out. I mean, you guys
look into it.
That is absolutely weird. You know, one story that is definitely a crime of passion that has always, you know, got me
passionate.
No. Just I have questions. I want to know the truth.
Go on.
OJ.
Oh, fuck.
I'm dead serious.
He didn't do it.
He did do it.
He didn't do it.
If I would have did it. There's a book about it.
See, but it says if.
Yeah.
If.
Hey, but he was awfully detailed. And all I'm saying.
And he knew things that were like in the crime scene that no one else would know.
Yeah. I'm just,
No, all kidding aside, motherfucker did it, dude. Come on, dude.
Fairness. I don't think Michael Jackson did it. I think OJ did it. I'm just going to say I think he did that.
110%. 110%. And it's funny to me that in hindsight, it's like he was supposed to be the Terminator in the Terminator movie. And they're like, yeah, no one would buy him as a
Terminator
fucking
in real
murderer.
life. In all fairness, obviously,
Kato?
my wife is white. So whenever she and I get into an argument, I go, OJ got away with that. No, I don't. No, she would kill me. She would murder me.
She'd be OJ.
She'd be OJ. No, that's heinous and horrible because Nicole and her new lover were massacred.
So was it really her? Was that ever proven that it was true that they were
I
hooking
believe
up?
so.
Because
I think
supposedly, I would say yes, because how would he know where she lived?
Yeah, exactly.
If he was just a waiter.
Didn't they say he lived in the back house or something?
No.
This is 1994, people. So this was so long ago.
I was a freshman, dude.
We forgot all this.
I was a fucking freshman. I'm not looking it up, but
It ruined Power Rangers for me.
You're thinking Kato Caitlin. He was the guest house of O.J.
Yeah,
Simpson.
he was in the back.
He lived in the back.
He was in the back
and
house.
he was the one he saw him late at, like, he had to testify that he saw him walking on the side like late at night, and he was like, "Who's that?" He heard something. He thought it was a burglar, and then he was like, "Who's that?" And then O.J.'s like, "It's me." So.
What a crazy trial! Like
It was a fucking insane trial. If the fact that I still remember like bits of it like
Yeah.
that. And remember, I was a freshman, so I like, why the fuck am I watching the news over this shit?
Right.
And the only thing I knew about OJ is, it's that dude that I like from The Naked Gun.
You
That's
know
it.
why? It's because like we were waiting on the new episode of X-Men to come out,
Oh,
and then they just
God,
completely
yes.
got rid of all Saturday, Friday, weekday afternoon cartoons over it, and everybody was sitting there like, yeah, I'm ready for my cartoons to come on,
Dude.
And then all of a sudden we were like watching
A white Bronco.
a white Bronco, and we're like, what the f- is this?
Actually, I actually skipped out on my freshman finals, and I went with my brother to visit him up in Pacifica,
OJ?
up in San Francisco. No, so that's my brother. Yeah.
I was gonna say worst day off ever. Like,
Yeah, I know. No, the worst part is like I was up in the Bay Area, and then I turn on the news in the morning and I see the fucking OJ's running from the cops, and I'm like, oh man, and I'm up here. like if I was gonna be able to see him down here.
So as far as Ron Goldman, which was the friend, the waiter, who's murdered, there's really.
I thought Ron Goldman was the dad.
No, Ron Goldman I'm reading here. Ron Goldman was Ron Goldman was the American restaurateur, waiter, and friend of Nicole Brown Simpson. So there's no evidence that he was seeing her, but I mean, it's kind of odd that they were hanging out. Because why would this? Because he was young. He was way younger than her.
He was way younger than her.
And he
I
was
just found it
good-looking
weird
by all accounts, and she was, divorced and trying to get out there. So
She was a cougar in town. Let's admit it.
well, cougar has a bad derogatory term. In
Does
this
it
case.
really?
In this case, it does. I think she was just somebody who was out just trying to restart her life, and obviously OJ was probably a very bad partner, and
Well, yeah.
clearly he had an opinion about her outgoings with her friend Ron Goldman, and the glove fit. But you must have quit. So hey, what do you know?
The funniest part to me was when the cops went to go see him, like to tell him that, hey, your ex-wife got murdered and stuff. He seriously, and I remember this because I have like the transcript, whatever, like a little copy. He seriously put his hands on the side like a cartoon character, like, oh my God, no.
He's like, oh no.
They told her that she died. They didn't tell her how. They just told her, I'm sorry, but your ex-wife has passed away. And he put his hands up. He's like, oh my God, who killed her? Mm-hmm. That was the first thing out of his hands. And then also, that's when they noticed he had a fresh cut Band-Aid on his hand. Mm-hmm. And they were asking him about it. And he's like, I don't know. It just happened. But how did she die? Who killed her? It's like, dude,
he was a bad actor.
who the fuck?
Watch his
well,
movies.
yeah, watch Naked Gun. He was terrible as Norbert.
He was terrible as Norbert.
Yeah.
Norbert.
Dude, yeah, no, it's Jesus Christ. But no, OJ fucking Simpsons. What other? Oh, there's the Scott Peterson. There's two. That's the funny part. There's two Scott Peterson murder cases.
That's a bad name.
Dude, never name, if your last name is Peterson, dude, do yourself a favor, never name your child Scott, because it's tainted twice. One, by that dude that was having an affair with that blonde girl, I forgot her name, and after he murdered her, supposedly he was away on a fishing trip before Christmas, murdered her with his unborn child, then reported it to the news.
Wait a minute, he murdered her with her unborn child?
Well, no, he didn't strangle her with the unborn child.
No, he took it out and just like kind of like bludgeoned her, like whapa, whapa, and the little.
I shouldn't laugh, but that is fucking
like,
hilarious, dude.
I don't know. In my head, I'm like,
like side to side.
Happy
By
Valentine
the umbilical
Day.
cord. No. That's bad. The views of Angel are not the views
Of Angel. No, the views of Angel are not the views of Angel. They're inspired by bloodlust and good humor.
The ice cream? No, but okay. So not only did he fucking kill his unborn child and his wife a little before Christmas, dumped her in the lake that he was supposedly fishing at, came back, called the cops and said she's missing, and then was on the news like, oh yeah, she's gone, I miss her, I want her back, blah blah blah. At the same time, they catch her at a vigil on the phone with his lover. All this fucking shit, and he's not guilty supposedly. Okay, and then on top of that, right when he knows that he's about to be caught, he disappears, changes his appearance, bleaches his hair, grows a goatee, also bleaches it, and is trying to run to Mexico with thousands of dollars of cash. Right? They catch him, and then he's still saying not guilty. What the fuck? And then now, ladies and gentlemen, in 2024, we have these fucking idiot TikTokers that have try to get the Innocent Project to look into the case because they're saying he's not guilty. Why? Because he's too handsome to be guilty. I shit you not. I fucking hate the new generation.
You know,
Sorry.
That was a serious tangent, sir.
yeah.
Then you have the other case of Scott Peterson. You know, the second one.
Yeah.
An older gentleman, white guy, I think in Arizona, I think it was, a cop.
This is when Michael Cera fought all of his girlfriends. Is it? I mean, all.
That's
of his
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
that's Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. Okay, I got the names confused. My bad.
Son, get Scott Pilgrim out of your mouth.
Out of my mouth.
Out of your
Ew.
mouth.
Ew.
Anyway,
Keep my wife's name out your goddamn. Or I don't know.
that's the one. Okay,
We
Scott,
did mention Jada Pinkett Smith.
Did and
We're all gonna get slapped for this episode, George. You're lucky you're not here. Even your ghost is gonna get slapped. Your force ghost.
it's like, George, what the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap.
Oh look,
Okay.
it's Will.
Oh. Hey, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I think it was perfectly timed. Love that.
I think I could take Will Smith in a fight.
Well, if the rumors are true, can you
he
really
can
take him?
box.
But
he
you know-
can box. Oh yeah,
But
no.
he was, hello there. But he was. But he was born and raised. I'm about to start doing the rap. Valentine's Day, people. Love.
Okay, there's a documentary. Or wait, no, you go back. You go back to your Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Peterson too.
Peterson.
The second story, I don't remember as much, but I just thought it was kind of weird that there was another Scott Peterson that killed his wife. But Scott Peterson is rumored to have killed multiple wives that he had, murdered him, and then gone on with a lover to start his life over again. And he covered it all up. Why? Because he was blue bacon. I mean, he was a cop. So,
Yeah.
you remember that story?
I remember this one.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it because I was kind of like, fuck these people killing their fucking wives and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another story.
Well,
Okay, so there
is
a documentary that I saw, and it is called "Dear Zachary: A Letter to."
That's the one I just told you about.
Is it?
We just talked about. You're like, what is it about? I said about the kid, about the woman who killed her boyfriend out of fucking an anger thing. Mm-hmm. Then she's crying victim and all the shit, all that. No, by the way, I'm pregnant. Grows up with the kid Zachary, has a baby, and then the in-laws are noticing there's red flags and they're trying to stop it. Fuck, you don't even listen to our show when we're recording it, dude.
It's because I was getting information on this.
I want to hear Doyle say it. He has a much more sonorous
You are
voice.
a rude, terrible person.
Well, there's a documentary on that. Okay, so I'll go with your synopsis. But I saw this documentary and some of the
Bullshit.
no drinks for me, thanks.
Yeah.
Some of the audio clips that they were able to capture for this documentary still haunt me to this day. It's like it's the mom who did the murder suicide saying like
That's the part that I was trying to leave out of the story, but yeah.
Well, now I want to hear
What?
it.
Yeah,
Fuck
what do you
that.
mean?
That's the best part.
it's a documentary.
I wanted people to go watch it. That's why I did not mention that part.
Bunk that.
Trust me,
Bunk
trust
that.
me.
No, bunk that.
This audio clip of hearing her say, "Mommy loves you, baby," like, oh, it's so eerie, it's so crazy, and like, you will like kind of feel the presence of the evil in this woman just from hearing it. It's so bizarre.
Even
so,
seeing the video clips, you see there's something off with her.
Yeah.
There's something unhuman about the way she stares, the way she looks.
yeah, and for her to like, I don't know, even before, like she was like possessive and stalkerish and crazy, stage 5 clinger, you know what I mean? Like, it just, some people can't take no, you know. I don't want to be with you. I'm at your door. Oh my God, I'm not opening the
Open
door.
up.
And
Open
I
up.
never understood. There's a lot of, I've seen probably like 4 or 5 documentaries around the same time that I saw this, and it would always be like some person like just didn't open the door. If you would have been alive had you just left the door locked, but they opened the door and they let the psychopath in, even though they already said that I don't want to be with you, and they let this person in, and then the person kills them. Like, if I fire you and you come to work with a book bag, I'm not letting you in the door. Come on now, people. It's just common sense, you know? It's weird. It's so weird. I think a lot of these things could be preventable, you know? Like, what makes a person open the door? Like, you gotta understand that this person's they can't let go.
Most people have that that blind sense of security, thinking that it's not gonna happen to me.
After that, I just broke up with you. What are you here for?
How much of most tragedies come down to one bad choice?
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, when you that one time that you get in the car and you drive somewhere, and then
Me saying yes to this show.
me saying yes to the show.
Yeah.
There you go. Your whole life
Such a
trajectory
tragedy.
completely changed. It's like at one point you were heading on this righteous path, and then Angel here says, "Let's do a podcast," and you're like, "All right," and suddenly,
Now, if anybody want to victim shame me, you feel free to do so in the comments.
opening up for Doyle's Victim Shame Tour 2024, Angel trying to take back whatever nonsense he was saying earlier.
You guys are fucking gay.
L'Amour, Valentine. I'm just going to keep on saying that until we finally segue back into it. By the way, in lieu of love, or rather in the spirit of love, you know what I currently love? I currently love the He-Man cartoon on Netflix. Take that, ex-girlfriends.
That's what I stayed up watching. That's why it was like.
That's why you were sleepy this
That's why I
morning?
was sleepy this morning. I stayed up watching Revolution.
Yeah, but you know what I don't love? That bag of chips you brought in today.
That's disgusting. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. That's great.
Now you're craving chips, huh?
Yeah, I kind of want some. I want some Funyuns.
I got your Funyuns.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you guys don't like it, but I have a list.
The reason
Oh, he's gonna
why I
deep
had to
dive?
go through that, I had to find that documentary is because I couldn't remember the name of it.
I mentioned it in the opening. I said there's this documentary called Dear Zachary, but okay.
I was looking for it
I know.
and like kind of half
Okay.
listening at the same time,
Okay,
So you
Dear
have to-
Doyle. I have another list here. Okay,
Angel,
Dear
some people
Doyle.
are
31
better
unusual
at
love and marriage customs from around the world. Okay,
multitasking.
I'm gonna try to do this real quick. Multipass. Okay, so in China, there's a bridesmaid blockade.
China.
Okay, China.
What is that?
It's a sucker. No, what it is it's basically what the bride and the groom are separated, right? And the groom, to get to the bride, has to go through all the bridesmaids and people in the way and give them envelopes of money to let him pass to get to the bride. That's a fucking interesting tradition.
Well, since there's money involved, I'm all for that. But I thought it was like the bridesmaids are like lined up like linebackers trying to stop the running back trying to get to the bride, and you could only marry her if like you get through all these
Like
broads.
punching go through. Well, they actually do change it up. It's not just like, oh, give me money and I'll move, but sometimes those like physical tasks and games and stuff like that you have to perform besides the envelope to get past them.
I was just thinking, like it would be great if you could like stiff arm that bridesmaid that you can't stand. There's always one.
Fucking Debbie.
And he's like, move.
Debbie, get the fuck up.
Just face palm her at the wedding, like, yeah, just throw her into the bushes. You know what I mean?
Here's a fun little game, sporting
that's
event.
the true definition of a Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer. Fucking Debbie. Okay, in Finland, there's a little sporting event where you take your wife or your partner, you don't have to be married, you slung them over your shoulder, you carry them on your shoulder, and your participants get stuck in different challenges. So you got to do different things while you're carrying your partner on your shoulder, right?
F that. Have you seen how much weight some of these wives gain?
But wait, there's more. The winner of all, if you complete all these challenges, the winner receives the partner's weight in beer.
Well, hell, sign me up.
I need to say that.
I want to go to Japan though, because in Japan it's the women who have to give the men that they love
Yes.
a confection.
Yeah, they got to give them candies. They got to make cookies. They
The
got to do
men-
something. It's the other way around.
Men don't have to give crap to the
In Japan,
Japanese women.
it's it's the other way around.
But you know why? Because they're so desperate. That's so weird.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know, bro, you're making me tingling. And by the way, in Maine, the number one porn search is hentai. So there you
Nasty.
go. Or for our audience out there in Maine, if you're feeling a little tingly, call
Mainly-
into the Ouchcast. Go to our website. Go to our Discord. Angel will do that for you for free.
Mainly they're nasty.
Squidward-chan.
It's weird. Japan, okay. I've noticed it's very pedophilia type stuff. Like a lot of material and content. It's weird. Like, why are there like idols always like 15? So weird. And then the girls are so aggressive in Japan because it's almost like the men are indifferent to reproduction and being with women, and they even have like these mixers, like government hosted mixers where the guys they bring all the guys in, and then they have all the girls like start trying to like win these guys over, and the guys are just like into video games and porn and stuff like that. So they're like not
otaku.
Yeah, and
but otaku not really like they're like pariah in Japan. They don't really. They don't-
not the otakus so much, but like, I mean, otakus are like guys who are just into like inanimate and like anime type
That's what we
girls,
should have
right?
called our fucking fans. Ouch tacos.
Ouch tacos. It sounds like ouch tacos.
Yeah, I was
Well,
about to
taco
say.
means octopus in Japanese, so it works both ways.
Takoyaki.
Takoyaki. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kiss my taco. bitter takoyaki.
So it's just
Vinagre.
like
Vinegro.
in some of these cultures where they have it backwards, it's because
bolso.
they're trying to save the culture. Because isn't Japan's birth rate like
And a decline.
This is not
There's
a
one here
conspiracy.
too. There's one here too.
There is not a conspiracy. So I recently watched like a nice documentary on birth rates, and basically for every country you need at least a birth rate of 2.0 in
You said
order
cunt.
tree.
Oh. Go on.
In every country, you need to have a birth rate of at least 2.0 in order for the population to replenish itself,
Yeah.
for the GDP to continue to stay steady and grow. And anytime you start to dip below the 2.0, then what you face is a potential like time where you have more old people than you have people in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not enough money to help those old people retire unless there's like a massive die-off of like older people before retirement age, which we're desperately in danger of here in America.
Mm-hmm.
And Japan is like, it's like a 1.4. Like it's really bad in
It's
Japan.
really, really bad. Yeah, it's on the news, and but again, they're nationalists, so they really don't want outsiders. They just want to fix that.
Yeah, which is crazy because I know like 10 guys, if you send them over there, the birth rates will go up immediately. They'll get it to a 9.5. You know what I'm saying?
So Japan has this interesting thing where their culture is pretty much like it accentuates or it emphasizes, that's the word I'm looking for, work. And so
Yeah, bird culture's
because
insane.
of that, yeah, and the values and that come with that, which in and of itself not a problem. But what ends up happening is Japan has had this problem for the past 150 years. They had to industrialize really quickly, and all the lessons that society, like the Western culture, learned, that took them a long time, because it took us a long time to go from agricultural to industrialized, and from villages, farms to big cities. It took us a long time, and there was all these things we had to learn along the way. Japan had to learn it quickly. They industrialized within a time span of 30 to 40 years, right? They went from farms to like big cities really quickly in manufacturing. The reason I bring all that up is because all of that led into a lot of repression and their societal conduct, and jobs became very important. So people were moving from farmlands into big cities, and then getting to jobs. But then little by little, birth rates have been falling, or marriage rates have been falling steadily for like 70, 80 years.
Which also causes a lot of the villages to just get abandoned.
Yeah.
The population of the new generation moves out.
So there's a lot, and that's interesting you say it, because there are a lot of you could go to Japan and you can buy a house that's been abandoned for like dollars on the penny.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
or
you
pennies on the
really
dollar.
can.
Yeah.
It's
You
really,
really can.
There's like a lot of people that have been doing that, and there's restrictions and whatnot. Sometimes you have to.
Nationals can't really.
You can.
You can, but it's not like it could be taken away thoe.
Okay.
Look into it.
I
Which
will,
is
but,
fair.
There's a lot of I've been looking at a lot of different YouTubers, and who've been doing this and documenting their journey, and what they value is people who want to at least maintain some of the culture of that community, and most often that people are welcomed into those communities. They allow some building of the houses, but some places will be more restrictive. This is true. Anyways, the point all of this is that we're making is that because of that, there's been a lot of weird perversions. I mean, I can't think of any other word for it. Like, I mean, historically, even prior to World War II,
Squid Squad.
there was a lot of what Japanese men would do to captured women is put them in brothels. There was a lot of brothels created in Korea. There was a lot of brothels created in China. And there's a lot of reason why there's a lot of anger between these two countries. Or there is and was, and it goes back and forth.
Or the Joy Divisions as well.
Joy
in
Division.
the army.
Yeah,
That's where the name for the band comes from. Joy Division.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that's what it is. It's basically the Japanese went to Korea, basically put a lot of the Korean women in servitude in armies called Joy Divisions, and then that's kind of where the word comes from.
The armies would go in and do stuff.
Yeah.
War is a horrible thing when it comes to women and children. Like
Everything.
Yeah,
Everything about
it's-
war is fucking.
Well, I mean, you see it now.
What is it good for? Absolutely
Yeah, I
nothing.
mean, you saw it in
Good God, yeah.
you saw it in the
Protecting your
recent
land?
attack and from the Hamas and Israel. There's always going to be a sexual crime component to wars, because it I mean, you saw it in Kosovo. There's always going to be a campaign of terrorism from men on women in a way to shame, like to shame and demoralize
And
dehumanize and demoralize, because the goal is always to demoralize a country so that they won't be able to fight.
Happy Valentine's
you break
Day.
the spirit. Yeah. Well, hey, that's what Valentine's Day is. War on love. No, okay.
war on men.
Well, let me just say this final. Let me just say this
Jeez,
final
you
thing
two
about
grumps.
Japan, and then I'm gonna like hand off the microphone. But here's the thing: rape culture. For once, always. What do you mean?
I'm
for
joking.
once?
I'm joking. Go on.
And there's like I have two friends and said that apparently
sorry,
the
just
running
go on.
gag, the unofficial running
my
gag for
God.
the past years, and anytime I make a statement, you guys cut me off or don't let me finish what I'm saying. It happens almost to a fault in every episode. So anyways, whatever. The Japanese, there is a rape culture that is inherent in their society. There are pockets of communities that used to encourage men to go into a girl's room and try to force themselves on them as a form of courtship.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, but it was a common thing. There was a name for it and everything.
Do you know?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I just cut you off. That's
And I'm actually fucking interested in what he's saying, you ass, for once.
I was going to add to it.
Oh, what?
Okay, so you know that scene in anime where the guy puts his hand up against the wall and he's pressing up against, like, he has the girl kind of pinned
Yeah.
against the wall? It's in every love story in all these animes. That is like
Senpai.
that is like a form of like it's like Rizz in a sense.
Yeah.
It is a form of like, I'm into you, and it's a statement. But think of like what Enrique's saying, like that rape culture is there. That is a form of it, because what you're doing is you're blocking her path. She can't go anywhere. So you're literally pushing your arm up against, and blocking her route, so she can't lead. You're impeding her space to tell her that you're interested in, but that's permeated by rape culture.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Well, masculinity in Japan is emphasized, and it goes all the way back to samurai and sort of like the expectation of how you court women. And then just to bring it to modern times and full circle about the more pervy young side, the term is lolicon, and lolicon is referring to a young girl in anime, and it's a very prevalent trope. So usually there's 4 characteristics that you find. They have to look like a child. The girl has to look like a child, has to behave like a child, has to have a smaller bust size, and has to have what's called a cute mo aesthetic. Mo being the term that embodies the qualities of being youthful, innocent, and feminine. These are things you see all the time in anime. And so, for example, in a popular anime called My Hero Academia, there's a character called Gentle, and another one called La Brava. And the Gentle is supposed to be a 32-year-old guy, and La Brava is looking much younger. And there's this thing, you see it all the time. So again, there's something there. I mean, it's weird.
It's one of the reasons why, it's weird. I used to love anime, and then I started finding out like all those like little details, and I can't get into this stuff no more. I really can't. I tried watching some stuff, and every time I watch some stuff and I start picking up on like those kinds of things that we in America frown upon things. And it's crazy how many like liberals will be like, oh yeah, I love anime, and they'll go to a con and be all up in arms about like impeding on someone's privacy, but at the same time you love anime, which is a whole culture of it. You know what I mean?
At the same time, though, let's not say we frown upon in America, because America is disgusting when it comes to that stuff. We're very hypocrites about fucking our porn and our fucking turn-ons. So let's not.
There's a history of all this stuff.
Let's not piss downhill because someone's pissing on us.
I'm just saying, there's a history of this stuff in every culture.
Yeah, every fucking culture, every single one.
In China, their one-child policy is backfiring because their birth rates are lower than the 2.0.
Well, now there's those fucking bride markets, or actually it's the other way around though. It's the male is like at a table, and there's at a park, at a public place, and there's women coming by and asking for like your credentials, as in like your historical credentials, like what kind of job do you have, how much money do you make, where are you from, where your parents from, this and that. And they're there to basically decide who they want to marry, who they want to court. That's how bad it's gotten in China. I mean, it's still fucking most powerful nation in the world.
You know what else is crazy? They have those, I'm going to call them indoctrination
stations.
Horns. Yeah. They got
indoctrination stations.
They have...
China's a paper tiger. They're not as powerful as you think they are.
They have a, what is it called?
Sorry, Trump.
Those loudspeakers. Mm-hmm. And they're broadcasting
and
for people to have larger families.
Sorry.
And the loudspeaker is broadcasting that family comes first, and that you need to have more family, because that one child policy backfired. They have way more men than they do women, because everybody wanted boys. And so it's now like to the point where it's uneven and unequal. And so you have all these men who are after like the 12 women that are in that village. And so it now they got to figure out what they're going to do, because they
hence the markets now.
Yeah, and it's so weird.
So are you saying it's a circle?
It's nasty. It's a circle jerk.
Well, hello.
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
That's what happens in China, where you have too many men and not enough women.
Well, there you are. Here's another quoting one. Fiji. Speaking of Asian culture, and here, if you wanted to marry someone, part of the culture is you had to present your soon-to-be father-in-law with a tabwa, or a sperm whale's tooth. Otherwise, you would not be able to get married.
Where the would you get a sperm whale's tooth?
You had to fucking go and find one.
God, that is like, you know what? I'm not going to Fiji.
Bro, you read that wrong. You had to put sperm on, like a whale version of sperm on their tooth.
I read it right. That's just gross.
I dropped the ball. on
Enrique,
that one.
no.
I quit.
You just said sperm and you just got excited.
I will.
Okay, Korea. if you guys are bitching and moaning about having one Valentine's Day on the fucking calendar, imagine being in Korea, dude. They have 12. All right, so they hold
12 holidays I don't celebrate. Sweet.
12. So yeah, they have 12 versions of Valentine's Day in Korea, but it's not as like, oh, you have to buy flowers that day. It's just things like, do something nice for each other, hug someone, celebrate no matter what the relationship status is. It's just like, hey man, I appreciate you. It's more of an appreciation day.
You know what?
It's like basically like, pizza parties at company events.
I'm inspired. I'm gonna go home and buy my wife flowers today.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just today out of the blue.
Yeah. It like I said, it's because on Valentine's Day everyone expects it, but she won't expect nothing today. So, and I know she
Never
doesn't-
let them see you coming.
Sorry, Chris. They just took the romantic moment out of that.
It's back. I'm bringing back that sperm whale.
It's
joke.
back.
Sorry, I'm bringing it back.
He's got to reprieve his.
You can't say, as long as you don't try to bring back Porch Monkey, it's Black History Month.
Jesus Christ.
We mentioned OJ. Come on now.
That was appropriate.
I got so many more racist jokes.
Scotland. Right before they're about to get married, the bride-to-be and sometimes even the groom are pelted with all manners of disgusting things, from rotten eggs to fish, and paraded through the street. It's called blackening of the bride.
You know what it is? Blackening of the bride?
Yeah.
What you mean black? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's trauma bonding.
trauma bonding.
Yeah, put me and this woman.
Bondage is.
It's
pretty
because
traumatic.
the two of them will know and recognize. Like, do you remember that time we smelled like fish and dirty diapers? And then they'll be like, yeah, I remember that. And then because only you two went through that one experience together, you now have a connection for life.
Is that why women are bitter?
Well, but then and then we wonder why he's single.
No.
So
Damn.
you know
I'll
what's
get
funny?
you on the
though?
next one.
Yeah, you know how he's saying that's trauma bonding and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, then all the Scots are trauma bonding because everyone went through that. So they're like, remember the fish thing? Yeah.
But then it's the husband and wife who know about that specific experience, and then when you meet another couple, you can relate to, like, yeah, I was traumatized. What did they throw at you? Oh, they threw dirty socks on me. Oh, they threw dirty chonies on me. You know what I mean? Like, and your experiences are going to be different, but that experience is only unique to you and your wife. So even though, like, I bet it's a bunch of like Scots sitting around in a bar and they're like, "Aye, they threw a bunch of dirty chones on me," and then, "Oh, you got it easy. I got covered in tampons." You know,
Scotland, whatever you do not invite Little John. Sleep. So that's not a good one. So in Russia,
what?
Okay.
In Russia, it is tradition for them to actually go to the unknown soldier tomb and pay their respects on their wedding day. So that's kind of weird.
That's like the tamest one of them all.
Yeah,
so
that's
good
like,
for you,
okay.
Russia.
Yeah, I was expecting something with vodka and bears, but I guess
or hail Putin.
Vladimir.
They all have
Vladimir has to watch while you consummate your marriage.
They must go into the double stall and get to Putin.
Oh man, some of these are like,
I mean, are there any healthy ones, like stuff that really bonds two people other than trauma?
The love padlocks in Italy.
Okay, what's this?
Well, this one in a town in Italy of Ponte Milvio, and actually it's in Rome.
Let's see if they did it right.
You padlock a padlock. You put it on the fence to symbolize your love is always bonded and will not break and it's secure.
They got one of those in Long Beach.
Do they?
Yeah, down at the pier. They periodically will come around and break them because
they should find out. You guys still together? No. Crack.
the fence gets too heavy and it'll rip down like the.
It's kind of like is it like the gum alley in San Luis Obispo?
Disgusting.
So being the single guy here, I feel like I need to tell you guys a very romantic movie to watch on Valentine's Day with your significant other. Okay, it's let me read it to you really fast. Komodo no Jikan features a 23-year-old lead, Daisuke Aoki. an elementary school teacher. Daisuke meets 7-year-old Rin, damaged by her turbulent home life. It is alluded that Rin has mental health problems. The entire show is set up as a comedy using the gag that traumatized Rin is the guilty party, chasing the innocent Daisuke through his day, setting a prank after prank that places her in sexually suggestive scenarios because she not so secretly wants senpai. Instead of being a responsible adult male and bringing this child to a psychologist, Daisuke does the exact opposite of this and, cue slide whistle, falls in love with her. Eventually, Daisuke is worn down and they marry after her 16th birthday because being 16 makes her an adult. Ah, l'amour.
I love what you said at the end.
That is the kind of crap that you can see from Japan. So, anyways, just thought I'd read that one to you because, research.
So a woman is of legal age at the age of 16.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I guess culturally, then that makes more sense to like all the stuff that you see because it's not as here. It's like 18 for us, so we're like cringe. But obviously, if they're thinking 16,
So legally, it's 16, but I mean, like, from what all accounts, like popular Japanese culture, because obviously this is an anime. Again, it's just part of a long list of tropes of this sort of like garbage. But in Japan, the common consensus is that 16 is not old enough, and so for the most part, it's really frowned upon in terms of culture. But obviously, otakus are not. While they're mainstream in terms of their dollars, they're not socially the mainstream opinion.
But you know what? And I okay, this is something that I've thought about because, like, obviously early on in history and in culture, like when was the right time for a woman to become fertile or to procreate, right? And like I looked into the culture that you read in the Bible, etc., and it was like 15. And so I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm assuming that this was like for like a young man who's probably like up to 24. You know what I mean? Like there's kind of like, if you're 24 and you're looking for a wife and then this girl.
Can I say one thing though?
Sure.
Also keep in mind that in those time periods, humans did not live past 36 or so.
Which is fair.
Like, so life was a lot.
Right. Yeah. And also the body, like, I remember being a young man, like, there was like a point where I was probably more prone to procreate,
Oh yeah. Your libido's way higher.
Yeah. And so
you'll fuck a couch if you can.
But there's a purpose to that. If my body is, if I'm supposed to be creating and cultivating children at that particular point in time because I'm supposed to, like, that's why my body's reacting that way, then we're messing it up as a society because we're making people wait too long. Like, you're actually past the point when you should start. Yeah. And that could be psychologically damaging to a culture, to a group of people. I've always wondered that, just because I was like, man, like, if I wait until my 30s to have a kid because I want to be...
That's what happened to me.
This is not a judgment to anybody, but if I waited that long, like, am I way past the point of, like, when I was supposed to, and then we wonder why there's birth defects and things like that, because I'm actually on a decline. And so maybe we're waiting too long, and then, like, our sperm is starting to, like, deteriorate, and our sperm counts are lower. Our what I mean?
I don't think, I'm not a medical man, but I don't think that's how birth defects are, is because of the decline of your sperm. I think it's just the potency of your sperm, because it's still going to be your genetics no matter what, unless you have, defective genetics.
You don't have a degree in medical, man?
Huh?
Because he said I'm not a medical man.
Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. Better? Better, scholar? Better?
I'm sorry, but that was great. You're like, I am not a medical man. I'm like,
medicine man.
Medicine man.
Do you have
oh, wait, that's another kind of medicine. No, but
more.
I think it's more of a... Shut the fuck up.
The other thing about it
when
is...
did Enrique become me?
Well, I'm no medical man, so I can't really tell you.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
You're on a fucking roll, dude.
Okay, so on that thought, are we waiting too long when men get older and then go after the ample young girl?
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting, and that's my point. I don't think that socially in society, men were supposed to have the opportunity to go back like that.
Yeah,
to
I don't
find
think so.
to
Well,
find
well,
mates.
there were some tribes though where like it'd be like the older man who would get like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old. But I think that also goes into the whole fucking perverted pedo chomo shit.
Yeah, but
I think that's like a caveat. Like that's not how it is normally, Enrique.
Thank you. So if you look at it from a psychological evolutionary perspective, you know, there's the whole idea that you can find the reason for modern problems in our evolution in terms of psychology. There is a history of older men being with young women that is like justified, and I'm doing air quotes here, so don't cut me off, show. I don't want to have to go on a tour with Doyle.
victim shamer.
With the victim shaming.
I want
There's
to
a seat
say
on the plane.
okay, you'll get the window seat, man. That's fine. I got to go to the bathroom a lot. No, so okay.
Ozempic.
Ozempic. This is brought to you by Ozempic. Hey, that's some good stuff, anyways. All right. So there is some justification, at least according to one of the common ideas, is that older men were often more desirable for younger women because of the way the biological cycles work. Right, older men tended to be established. They tended to still remained virile. Pretty much, you can have children up until you're like 80, 90 years old, right? I mean, look at what's his name? Is it Robert De Niro? Like having a child just recently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay.
Right.
And then younger women, because of their ovulation cycles, and obviously they only have like once a month, 12 chances a year to get pregnant. Their egg is more precious. And so according to the theory, it states that the younger women will go for older established men because they have the means to protect and the means to create stability, while the younger women have like the opportunity. Obviously, now in modern times that stuff is kind of bullshit because everything is all leveled now, and there's really no reason for old men to be with young women, at least that young. We're not talking like 30 years.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my thought process was. Like, I think it was like the exception, not the norm.
Yes.
It's becoming the norm because you have guys who are kind of like creeping on younger women until their old age and choosing not to get married, where marriage was originally kind of like the thing that like you picked a spouse, you had a spouse, and then you moved forward. And that would leave a bunch of young single people available for each other. And you moved on, you got out of the market. But then like, it became socially the norm for guys to be like, I'm not going to get married because I want to keep going after young girls. And it's just like, it's kind of disgusting. What's the guy's name? Dan Blitzerian. F that guy for the record.
Dan Blitzerian. What does that ring a
The
bell?
billionaire who has a bunch of like Instagram models.
Oh, fuck that dude. The bearded dude who threw a girl off his boat and broke her leg or something?
Yes, that guy.
Piece of motherfucking shit.
Yes, and it's because you give a few guys provision, resources, money, and then all of a sudden they start using this to kind of like, honestly, this is kind of going back to the whole rape culture and like the provisions and stuff like that. It's a bunch of creepy older dudes who got a bunch of money and they didn't find a wife. They're not really looking for a wife. They're just looking for a way to like blow money and just smash a bunch of girls. And you have like IG models in Dubai that fit that cameo. There's in Vegas, there's like the showrunner or the VIP treatment. You have club promoters in Las Vegas who will meet a bunch of young girls who go to a club, and then he'll get their phone numbers and he'll say, hey, I'll pay you $300-400 a night if you come to the club and you work. You just got to show up and bring a couple of girls or whatever. And so what happens is these VIP hosts will wait until somebody comes in, like an NBA player or somebody with a lot of money, and then he'll call up those girls and say, hey, you want to work tonight? I got a VIP here. And so what happens is that NBA player, etc., whatever, is in the VIP section and is more likely to spend a lot of money if there's a lot of young, attractive women. So the host of the club is calling young, attractive women to come over and kind of entertain this person with a lot of money. Yep. And so the person with a lot of money is not looking for a wife amongst this group.
No.
He's just looking for who he can sleep with that night. Now, this is not this is not prostitution, because the club owner is not asking the girl to sleep with the guy, but it's implied.
Hosting.
It's implied, and in many situations, they go back to these private parties, and these girls will get propositioned. And
That's nasty.
As a culture, like, I don't know why, like, we've glorified this so much, and this is why everyone's chasing money. There's this idea of, if I get rich and I'm single and I have a bunch of money, this is what I want, like 100 girls on a yacht chasing after me and throwing themselves over me, and I fell down, and landing in your lap, and it's disgusting. It's really twisted and disgusting. Like, we as a society stopped working for the fact of, like, hey, one day I will be able to spend all the time in the world with my family. And then now the dream and the goal is to be on that yacht with a bunch of hoochies. And it's just...
That's not mine. Mine is to fucking have a house, but in this society, it's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, like...
I want to travel with my family. I want to enjoy myself. I want to spend more time with them than I do with the fucking work. Like, dude,
that used to be the goal.
It's still fucking shitty to me that the fact that I have to work 5 days and only get 2 days to my family. It's fucking bullshit, dude. American dream, kiss my ass.
That's how America used to be. You would build your house and you would set up your land, and then you would kind of like chill for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
You'd probably have all the slaves working the land if it was back in the day, but Black History.
Happy Black History Month, guys.
But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, why now all of a sudden is the dream the yacht and the big house and the bunch of fancy cars?
That's not like our generation's dream or your generation's dream. It's the new generation's dream, right? It's the ones who are like, I want to grow up to be a YouTuber or an Instagrammer. That's their fucking dream.
But I even feel like that was, it kind of hit our culture because everybody used to want to be an actor.
Well, yeah, but it's different. For us, it was kind of like, I think it was a combination of we wanted the fame and the adoration plus the money. I mean, we all want money. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, if I fucking told you, hey, dude, here's $1 million, you want it?
Let me get
You're not going to tell me no.
Let me get off my high horse. I used to totally be that shallow.
Yeah, you were fucking in radio.
Yeah.
Well, we go through seasons.
And porn.
I think, and we go through seasons of like of our what we want and expectations. I mean, currently, people are. I don't know why you guys are laughing. I got to know. I can see from the corner of my eye Doyle just like cracking up, and I don't know. So please,
it's because Angel said I used to be in radio and porn.
I totally
missed that.
Yeah, I told him he's like I gotta get off my high horse and then he goes like, yeah, and I go, yeah, you used to be on radio. He's like, yeah, and I go, and porn, and then I go talk to you, and he's like, I busted up.
That is not why I was in that is not why I was in radio, and I never did porn. So.
Sorry, I really had to take you down your high horse.
But what they say is true.
So the current trend right now is people are not marrying. They're marrying much later. And
they're not procreating.
And a lot of it, at least here in the U.S., a lot of it has to do because people cannot afford to move out. They can't move out of their family's house, or they can't buy houses. And so financial stability is a big factor in people pairing up and people being together. Now, the argument can be made that two people coming together, combining households, more, buying power, which is true. However, the market has made it such a difficult hill to climb that even two incomes don't cut it.
No.
So from an evolutionary psychology perspective, it makes sense then again that an older person would who's established, has money, would be attractive to a younger person. The reason I say person is because it's a study of 10,000 people in Sweden found that there was enough of a precedence that even women who were older were being with younger guys. So that perspective flips now.
We just went full circle.
It went-
That's
It's
where we
a
started.
circle.
There it
It's a
is.
circle.
There it is.
And so you know what, guys, money matters. Being established matters. It probably the reason why people are in social media and podcasting and all that stuff, because there is the visual of a lot of money in this, right? You hear the stories of like this person starting up their Twitch cast to play video games or whatever, and then suddenly they're like making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it seems like the new American dream or the new world dream. We will call it the new world dream, and that in which you will make fast money and then therefore can start your life. Because most of us are waiting to start our life before we start our life. And honestly, I'm still waiting to start my life.
Dude, I'm 45 and I'm still waiting to start my life.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
L'amour.
Happy Inflation Day.
Yeah, dude.
You ain't getting flowers because they cost too much.
You know what pisses me off? Yeah. No, that's what my
I
wife
should
told me
have
to get.
brought you flowers, or however that stupid song goes.
Oh my God. No, you bring up a point though. The funny part is right now politicians are trying to spread this propaganda that in the last month we added 366 new jobs, right? So that we should be happy because the finances are getting better. But that's fucking bullshit, because there's an asterisk to that fucking claim. Yeah, they added so many new jobs, but the cost of living is so ridiculous that those fucking jobs you cannot live off of.
They don't pay enough.
They don't pay enough. So if you're telling me that I should be happy because you guys added some shitty jobs, but we can't afford fucking a glass of milk,
Let me shout out the next
go
generation
fuck
for some.
yourself. Biden, go fuck yourself. Trump, go
again.
fuck yourself. All of them.
Say it again.
Go fuck yourself, Biden.
Black History Month.
The politicians spinning it into a good thing is a bad thing, but the numbers are there, like from a non emotional perspective. Like, yes, job market has gone up. Jobs have right now is a good time to find jobs, and when you look at which job markets have opened up, it's actually across the board. It's not just the service industry. You got a lot of a lot of office jobs, a lot of manufacturing jobs are on the rise now, where before they weren't. And it makes sense because of the
Which is great.
the trend from moving to Mexico and to India and those places is
That outsourcing, it should be totally insourced.
yeah, well, it's flipping, because right
I
now
hope so.
you're seeing a lot more. I mean, obviously you hear the stories of like Silicon Valley losing a lot of jobs.
Yeah,
People are getting fired. I
shitloads,
just heard
man.
Microsoft just laid off 130,000 people or something like that. I forget
Yeah.
the number. Spotify has laid off some people.
Yeah, the tech industry is fucking losing people.
It's balancing out is what's happening. And so I think, yes, there are more jobs for sure, but our quality of life still hasn't gotten there because things are too damn expensive. Although inflation, right now, they haven't lowered inflation from what I understand, because the economy is still doing relatively well. That's the reason why, as of right now, in February, the inflation, or the interest hasn't been dropped by the government. It hasn't been.
Here's
been
what
dropped.
here's what I would like the government to do. If you can't pay me more, make stuff cost less. At least the stuff that is of like critical
necessity.
Yes, like
Food.
insulin.
Yeah,
If
they actually did pass a law where they capped it. By the way,
finally,
but
yes.
it's not.
That kind of stuff is ridiculous. Like I feel like some of these industries are raping people. Like, like I am personally not a diabetic, but it's just one of those things where like, come on, man, like help these people out. Like you're saying you're doing it for the people. I get some stuff being super inflated because it's a luxury, but the stuff of necessity, you got to bring the cost down.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Happy Valentine's Day.
happy Valentine's Day.
L'amour.
Fête fécule. Oh wait, that's
What a messed up episode.
Sorry.
We talked about murder, rape, and inflation for Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It sounds like
And
Hallmark.
sperm whale teeth.
And sperm whale. It sounds like Hallmark.
All you need is love.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
All you need is love.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
This
All you
episode-
need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
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 Not
She
really.
loves you. Yeah.
Merrily. This episode of the Ouchcast has been brought to you by
Monster. No sugar. Zero sugar free.
Only for him. Mine's got sugar.
Clearly, I'm hyped up. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna shut up now.
So that was a good one.
I think so.
And we're actually leading off.
No, hold on. I want to know what else was it brought by.
Black History Month.
So,
Oh man.
This racism
Discord?
is killing us.
Yes. Join us on our Discord.
Discord?
It should be
Discord?
called Discord
Discord,
everyone
'cause everyone ditched it.
You shouldn't ditch our cord.
Just go to www.ouchcast.com and make sure to listen to the latest episodes, or you can even look us up. You can buy merch, you can use the call-in number, and you can even leave comments, I believe.
and that comment and that voicemail can be sent to area code 925-421-6824. That is area code 925-421-OUCH.
Please call. We want to hear your voice.
If you call and you have an opinion about anything you heard in this episode, we would love to hear from you guys.
Unless you're Mr. Monotone, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Kiss my.
Or Vince McMahon. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Unless you can pay me $3 million.
Lick the vinegar off
then let's
my
talk.
balls.
Anything else to plug?
If Vince calls and he wants us to do something, I am not in. You know what he's going to want?
Give me that chon.
Plug them holes.
He's
He's gonna shit on your back.
He's going to have a WWE branded banana.
Before you go, okay, are we doing anything for Valentine's Day? Anybody
No.
here? No?
Probably sit on the toilet once or twice.
Yeah, I'm going to love that. L'amour.
You guys feel
The
some
smell-
love.
The smell of love. Love is in the air.
The aroma of love is your shit? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, that's real love for you. You know, when married couples, the first time she drops a deuce and you stick around, hey, you love her. Facts.
That shit's over. Forget that business.
Oh, hey, man, what about you for her? Like, she's like, dude, I love that man, but oh my God.
She sticks around, you know. Real love is dealing with each other's flatulence.
Honey, oh. Yeah, that is real love, dude. That is real love.
When you both purposely Dutch oven under the bed and see if you can get the sheets to float. Hey, we're haunted. Ooh.
We're going.
It's called
This
the-
is why the divorce rate is at 50% or something like that, right?
Well, because people are holding in their farts too long and then they get grumpy and angry.
That's
Let it out.
That's how spontaneous combustion happened back in the days. Holding in your farts. That's what it is.
Just for the record, if two people fart under a blanket and it starts to float, it's called a hot air balloon.
Oh my God.
If somebody farts in the forest and nobody's around to listen, did that person really fart?
Only
Yes.
if a squirrel dies.
All right, guys, that was a good one. And remember, never make eye contact while eating a Valentine's Day banana. Good night, everybody.
Squid Squad.
It's a sucker.